There we go. Okay, I am a little late. I know I'm a little delayed, but hello everyone to those who are just joining. No one will have been waiting because I literally just started. Sorry. Um, but to everyone joining and people watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, hello, welcome to another stream and welcome to another Sunday game dev stream. I am happy to have this consistency because it's nice to be able to just do this like once per week. Um, just do things, get on with things, give updates on what I've been doing for the project in the meantime, and all that jazz, and so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry again. Sorry for the slight delay. I was doing a thing. The new dungeon released, of course, as I said, in Destiny 2 on Friday. I didn't do contest mode, but I did do a run of it like earlier, which ended not too long ago. It was taking a while because I was learning it for the first time, and one of the bits was taking a bit because it's a bit weird with the lag and everything sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why I am delayed. So I'm gonna go and restart the video that I normally use for um background music. So more Xenoblade stuff as per usual. I should also probably open Clip Studio. Yeah, as you can tell, that I was somewhat prepared, but also kind of unprepared at the same time, which is that's just part of the course for me at this point. I feel. Um, so I'll go and get an empty thing up in Clip Studio for when I need to doodle. Just play Dame Dane 10 hours extended. I know Sega is normally like very friendly about like music and stuff, but I am scared to do that in the fear that I would just get copyright struck. So I do avoid that, or for long periods of time I do avoid it. But yeah, Clip Studio open for when I need to doodle, or just say, yeah, the code's being compiled and all that jazz and everything and yada yada yada. Um, I don't have Rider open yet because I, of course, I'd only just opened the project not too long ago. So, yeah. There we go. Okay, so Rider is open and now loading, so that's good. Anyway, in terms of what I've managed to get done since the last stream, I haven't done too much. However, if you can remember from the end of last stream, I was basically, kind of working on, like, getting the... So, how's your hentai game collection? I hope the game has got ridiculous jiggle physics on everything but what you expect. I'm sorry to disappoint you, I have not indulged in that. I have been debating getting Alien Isolation from CD Keys, going off of, yours and Dragon's idea from stream the other day about potentially playing that this month. Because if you remember, I did know that, oh god, if I played that game, I would absolutely shit myself. So maybe that's an idea for a spooky month stream, maybe. I know that I'd be dreading every moment of it if I chose to play it on stream. So, you know, it's that kind of stuff. Spooky Month stream needs to include the Scooby-Doo background music. Oh god, I feel like I need to ask for like suggestions for background music for Spooky Month streams. I think the same thing could also go for Christmas streams as well. One thing I do want to do, and this is something that I have in mind, sorry, I'm drinking hot chocolate. Also, unrelated but kind of related note to the hot chocolate. I accidentally left my squirty cream out of the fridge last night when I was making myself a hot chocolate, and yeah, day ruined. Christmas stream just needs a GBA sound font of or version of. No, I know what it needs. I know exactly what it needs. I know exactly what the Christmas streams need. It needs the mashup of All I Want for Christmas Is You and Collective Consciousness from Metal Gear Rising, because they run at the same BPM and it's perfect. It's perfect, but I need to have it on loop. Oh wait, no, there is a 1 hour loop of Collective Christmas. Never mind. Never mind. It just needs that. It needs that. Because that would be perfect. Anyway. Hot chocolate. I left the squirty cream out of the fridge, like, since last night. I only remembered today. Day ruined. I couldn't have squirty cream with chocolate powder on the top on my hot chocolate. I'm very upset by this. So, yeah. That little tiny mini rant aside. Hold on, brain. Oh yeah, no, what I got done since last time. So, if you can remember from the end of last stream, like, if, like, chat or people watching things back, remember, I was doing... I can't believe he actually killed the squirty cream. Fuck's sake! That's another thing that you can't believe that it was actually killed. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, so, towards the end of last stream, I was basically drafting out my ideas for, a coward, like, enemy that sort of, like, what observes the player, like, when they're in range, and when they're too close, they start running away from them along a predefined path again. And, from what I found, well, what I did the next day, because I've been busy with other things during the week, I managed to actually get it done. The enemy that's here is that enemy. That enemy is kind of like the cancelled Scream enemy for Left 4 Dead. I think so, yeah. But also, like, one of the first enemies that you meet in Spyro 3 is, like, it's just called the Coward Rhinoc, and all they do is, like, when you get close to them, they sort of turn to face the player, and when you get too close, they start running away from you. Like, that was the main example I had in mind, but I managed to actually sort of translate it well, like, to what I'm doing, so I'm gonna show that a little bit, because that's what I got done on Monday. I haven't been able to do too much else, because, yeah, the one from Sunny Villa, yeah. God. Oh, hold on. Actually, you know what? Oh, wait, shit, I accidentally went too far forward on the video, but anyway, I'm gonna see if I can find... Hold on. Let me find, like, because now you got me in that mindset and that mood. That's an ad. That's an Amazon ad. No, Sunny Villa. There we go. Is it going to give me an Amazon ad again? Hold on. Yeah, no, yeah. But in terms of like the enemy I was thinking of, yeah, it was those. Also, forgive Unreal for running at low frame rate. I'm tabbed out, and it does that when it's tabbed out. Because I am waiting for this dumb Amazon ad to clear off so I can actually listen to music. Where is GX Cleaner? I've lost the tabs. I've lost the tabs now. Oh, good God, why? There we go. That's better. That's better. Because I wanted to get into the groove with it now. So we're going to listen to Spyro 3 music. This Sunnyville extended for an hour and a half, though I feel like at an hour I'll probably switch over to a different one. But yeah, this enemy here is the one I'm using as my example for like being the coward. So if I get in range, it will now start to turn to the player. If I move away far enough. Oh yeah, also the normal enemy is still chasing the player. Again, that's working properly now. It actually, doesn't break line of sight when you move close to it, which is good. But that was from when I moved the like the AI perception to C++ and not just using it in blueprints. Among some other things that I tweaked, I'm not sure what it was, but yeah. You get close to the enemy and you're within their line of sight. Oh, and I was too close, so they will start running around that path now. And then they'll just go there. And normally what happened with the coward enemies is that they wouldn't run away again, depending on like what one they were. So if you got close to them, then they'll just sort of like observe you, and they won't run away again if you try and get close to them. So I have that kind of enemy now. And of course with the normal patrolling enemy and like the flying enemy, I still don't have like a proper attack or anything sort of built in yet. And that's one of the main things I want to focus on this stream. I want to be able to, like, maybe not necessarily, like, for a melee attack for the grounded enemy. Like, maybe, I'm not sure what I'll do here yet. Because, here's the thing. If I'm gonna doodle in Clip Studio just to illustrate my point, because I found that doing this just very much helps me. Like, it helps me with my brain and everything. So, yeah, cool. Clip Studio. There we go. Right. So, also forgive the color I'm using. I mean, I need to go grab my normal, outline color. Where are you? From one of my other drawings that I've done. There you go. Because I do like to do my doodles in a consistent shade. It makes it easier for me to sort of... I don't know why. I'm very particular about it. But yeah, so with a projectile, so let's consider the two approaches. So if we just, like, for testing's sake, wanted the enemy to fire a projectile, it'd be as simple as one having a point where fired from... So having a point where fired from... Projectile can be anything. So the projectile can be anything, but, well, of course, within reason. It can't be anything too, like ridiculous. So it has to be within reason, of course. So the projectile can be anything. It has a point where it's fired from. if we were going for the projectile approach, we can have it either when a enemy is close or while moving, which makes it very flexible. Like, having the projectile be fired either, like, when they're close or on an interval whilst they're moving towards the player, you know, sort of keeping them in range. Or what I mean is, like, when they're still in range of the player while they're chasing them. That works. I'm trying to think. You know, it's very flexible. However, I'd say the one thing that kind of... Like, while the projectile can be anything, the projectile's type can vary. What a projectile does, like, on collision or on overlap is, like, again, very flexible. I'd say it's kind of a lazy approach. I'm still having a rat pro tag. Yeah, I'm still having a rat pro tag. I'm still doing that, but for testing's sake, I'm not stylizing the, like, projectiles to be anything specific at the moment. This is mainly for testing's sake, but it is a lazy approach in the sense if I was just having only have the enemy fire a projectile. What I would really want is either have them be either projectile or a close quarters, or both, for when, like, either the player is at a distance or when they're, like, up close. But, again, early stages, I'd have to figure things out as I go along, because while I'm good with, like, having things function in an isolated circumstance, so having projectiles be from projectile enemies, having melees or stuff be from enemies that are designed to do that, I haven't actually done an enemy that is capable of doing both. And what about camera positioning relative to the player? So at the moment, if I go back into the engine, because I can, like... Because at the moment, the camera itself is just around the player. That's an ad! I have ad blocker disabled on Opera. Why are you doing... Oh yeah, because YouTube is... It's an ad. I don't want to hear about stuff from Curry's. Wait, hold on. There we go. I want to break from the ads. I turned on ad blocker in Opera. Haven't you... Yeah, they have been messing with how to circumvent ad blockers, and it's kind of annoying. I mean, of course, like, when I'm, like, watching channels that I support and whatnot, then, of course, I turn the ad blocker off, and even then, I mostly am just watching YouTube on my phone anyway. But if it's, like, trying to have, like, a background music to use for streams and stuff, then I prefer not having to deal with ads, because it's kind of annoying. And it would be nice if, like, the video wasn't, like, riddled with it every so often. Which kind of sucks. Wouldn't it be better to have a local source sound instead? It would be. Oh, whoops. It would be, but I would need to find time to sort of sort that out. I would need to find time to sort something like that. Oh, I am reminded of something that happened today. So basically, Pokemon Company employee, fell for a phishing scam. And, I don't know what fish he caught. Also, I am joking, I know what a phishing scam is. Basically, a whole bunch of shit got leaked from the Pokemon Company, like, box art for the old, like packaging, like, material stuff for, like, the old Pokemon games, like, with the embossing and all. Cut sprites, concept art, all that jazz. Specifications for how they were designing characters. The most infamous one being Skylar from Pokemon Black and White, because it writes itself. And also, a whole bunch of stories that were written by the devs that everyone's looking at them and then thinking, wow, they're just a bunch of gooners and furries, which is, crazy. I'm just seeing all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Shocking to literally no one. Yeah, no, like, I don't know why we should be surprised. It's a thing that happened, but yeah. That's crazy stuff. I think also, like, different builds and stuff of, like, the older Pokemon games was, like, leaked too, which is fucking crazy. I know it's Dan Footfinder Schneider all over again. Oh no. No, no. Don't remind me. So in terms of like melee, again, Dantos and a minor Schneider. So we'd have specific hitboxes. So massive variety. So it allows for more direct player to enemy interaction. Like, mainly considering the positives. But in terms of this, like, any ideas on level art theming? Not yet. Because again, it's like mainly figuring out vibes and stuff, but also it takes time. It takes a bit of time for me to think of stuff sometimes. I do struggle on occasion. So in terms of the negatives, it would... So, finding... Like, there is plenty of, like, free resources for animations. Takes... So, like, there's plenty of resources for animations, Mixamo being the main one that, like, a lot of, like, devs use when they're prototyping stuff. I know that I had to use it a lot back at university because she was like, oh, if you go to Mixamo, you can use these animations for doing stuff in your assignment project. Like, yeah, cool. That will help us get things going. And I can, like, see the benefit, though Mixamo animate, like, this is, like, a thing that happens with Mixamo, like, animation skeletons. It's like... It's like all the skeletons for those models on Mixamo do not have a root bone. And a very important thing about animating in video games, or just animating in a lot of things in general, is, like, being able to have a root bone from which, like, every bone kind of connects from. And without that root bone, it's kind of difficult to match up, like, animations from, like, one skeleton to another one that you're mainly using or relying on. So it can be tedious with them. you know, it's cool stuff. It's cool. It's a bit of a predicament. Just borrow animations from the Unity store if you ever feel like using Unity ever again. Uh, oh god. Could do, could do. Though trying to transfer like FBX files from like one thing to another, it probably is easy enough to do, maybe. So of course finding them takes time. It requires I'm trying to think what is the retargeting. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. It requires retargeting in some cases. Like if you haven't like directly made an animation for a model, then you'd need to retarget from like one skeleton that you're getting an animation from to the one that you're using. And as I said before, there is that problem where if you're using a Mixamo animation, then there is a likely chance, I said then twice. Why? Then there is a likely chance that you will just run into issues when you're trying to retarget it, which is all fun and games. You know, it's all fun and games. Also, I forgot where I put my water because I need that. Otherwise, I will die of thirst. That is a joke, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so in terms of my idea, like, or illustrating my points with, like, doing the projectile approach compared to doing the melee approach, like, there are, like, a few, like, one more negative compared to, like, using melee, but I do want to have, like, more up-close and personal interactions eventually. It's just, for the sake of making sure that there is at least a basic loop involving, like, enemy characters, having a projectile kind of enemy is the... Oh, sorry. Having a projectile enemy is probably the more simple approach to doing this kind of thing. So, I'm trying to think. There is a specific thing that I'm remembering from... Okay, alright, no. I'll do it as I go along. I'll do it as I go along, because I don't want to bog myself down too much, like, from not remembering how to have a specific thing happen. In terms of how I'm going to do this, for simplicity's sake, and also because it will probably actually happen this way, I will probably just do this via blueprint and via, like, behavior tree tasks in blueprint, just so I'm not, like, constantly going back and forth between, like, the editor and writer and having to constantly, like, regenerate all the project files and everything. So, I'm gonna start off with the grounded enemy. Of course, this will be subject to change, of course, like, later point in time. As I said, this is just, getting things, like, all sorted. So, of course, I probably want this to be so that when the enemy is within a certain radius of the player, that is when they'll be able to start firing. So, I'll probably add a boolean here. Oh wait, that's a class reference. That is not what I needed. Not what I wanted at all. So, get a boolean key, call it B is in range. So, B is in range. I don't know why I went back over there. I meant to go back into the behavior tree. I may want a service. I may need a... Yeah, I probably want a behavior tree service. So services... else underscore if... Or in some languages, elif. In Python, it was elif. In Python, it was elif. So, behavior tree service underscore check attack distance And that's going to take a moment for it to load up, I think. It's taking its time. There we go. Still learning Python, is it worth it? I don't know. I haven't used Python in years. I feel like as a general kind of thing, like either as a like more of like a springboard for learning programming as a whole, or just like software development and stuff, it's still a fairly good I'd say it's still fairly good to learn, just for the sake of it. So yeah, I'd say, in a way, it would still be worth learning. Because I feel like there's still quite a bit that it is capable of doing. So anyway, it's event receive tick for the... So, event receive tick AI. So, we have the owner controller control pawn, and we have delta seconds. So, variables. So, player distance tolerance. So this is called player distance tolerance. This will be a float, and I'll make it visible so that we can edit it in the behavior tree. So if I go here and I'll attach the check attack distance service to here. So for people who don't know, for chat and people watching things back, if you don't know, this is kind of similar to how you set up behavior tree decorators, or like the Blackboard observed conditions. So like, if you remember, like say in this example, if the enemy's current state in here is set to passive, then it will do whatever is here. If it's set to attack, then it will do the set move speed and it will move towards the player. Here, this is kind of similar, where we can set the value of like what we're checking for in the editor. And we can also set like the interval. So I'd rather than do this like every point like 5 seconds, I'll say maybe every 0.1 seconds, so it's doing it fairly often. So fairly often, but at the same time, not to the extent where it's doing it literally every single frame. I want to do this like every 10th of a second, so that it's doing it at a frequency that's enough so that it doesn't like completely lose where the player is, or like think that the player is still in range like after like even a bit of a time lag. I want it to be a lot more accurate. So yeah, so this will help things be a bit accurate in terms of where the distance is. I need to check what the sight radius was. So in the enemy controller, I'm not switching to Rider because I'm only just doing this to get a thing. Sight radius is 500, and the loose sight radius is 525 based on like the sight radius add like a little extra like margin of 25. So if for the sake of like having it be a suitable range for the enemy to start throwing a projectile at the player, I think I want that to be 250 just as a starting test. So it'll be a tolerance of 250. So we haven't actually set things up within the behavior tree service, so this, you know, doesn't probably do anything yet. But what we're basically saying here is, like, or what we want this to say here is that every 0.1 seconds, check to see if the player is within this tolerance, so within this distance, so within, like, 250 meters. and if it's within that range, then, you know, set, like, is in range to true. If not, so do they need a little sound cue to check if the radius is, or is it a given? I feel like I'm hoping that it should be a given. It should be a given if the enemy starts throwing a projectile. Though I feel like later down the line it would definitely be a good idea to have them like have the enemy make a little bit of a noise when the like the player is in range, where they sort of react like kind of like that. Don't excuse the noise. So if we get actor location and we also get blackboard, because what we want to specifically get is get value as object. Make Minecraft witch noise if in range. Oh, actually, like, imagine, like, Gruntilda the Wizard from, like, Banjo-Kazooie, and it's like, but doing that as, like, your little noise for when they're in range. I have fun with this, honestly. So, player target is the player, right, so, player target, so Rat v Rat combat. You know what? Like, enemy rats would be cool too, yeah. So I need to cast, so this is currently an object, so I need to cast to actor. I don't need to cast it to a character or anything, because I'm not specifically getting, like, a character specific thing from it. I just need it as an actor so I can get its location. So we get the enemy's location from this, from, like, controlled pawn, get actor location, and then from the player target, get actor location, and then we're checking the distance, so distance, and then we check if less than or equal to, and then get the distance tolerance, have the branch. So the branch is just basically an if statement. So I probably do want to get a cleaner sort of like branching from it. So set value as bool. Oh wait, no, I don't need the branch. I could just get rid of the branch and I could just do it this way. So rather than have it do that, because then, you know, that makes it. Right, so set value as bool, set the bool to whatever this returns. So if it's within this range, then it'll be true. If it's outside of this range, it'll be false. And then make literal name. So it'll be B is in range. So B is in range. So B is in range is set to true. Now I'm wondering if I can throw a sequence within a sequence. So sequence? I can throw a sequence within the sequence. Cool. So I'll add the blackboard base decorator because I'm checking the boolean. So is in range of player. Question mark. Whoops. You know, because the question mark's the most important part of this. So if B is in range is set, and at the moment I don't have an attack set up, so for now I'll just, unless, hold on, let me look at tasks. Do I have, I do not, I have temp attack. I can use temp attack as a temporary projectile attack. So temp attack, and then wait. I don't know if that will force it to actually just stand still. Right, so wait for the specified time when executed. So, well, we'll see what happens. But in here, I don't have this set up. I just have, like, these two things here. I think, just for the sake of testing, also how I am implementing health into this in relation to attacks. So, the print string, I'm just going to say... I'll get to that in a moment. Just so we know that it's actually attacking. It's not printing like a generic hello. So for my little thing, because if I was to do like, oh, if we're checking for like the player's thing, like specific, or we're always checking for a specific class or anything. So for example, if the player doesn't attack and they just check for like only the enemy class, or in another instance only check for like a breakable object or something like that, it would be very like, it's very heavily dependent. It's not agnostic. It would just be like, there would be a bit too much coupling within classes, which is not what you want. Like, when you're like developing any kind of thing at all, you don't want things to be too coupled. You want things to be able to sort of act mostly independently, so that when you're making changes to one thing, it doesn't break absolutely everything. So I think what I would plan on doing for that is that if I wanted like player attacks to be able to let me think, to be able to not only deal damage to enemies, but also say some environmental objects like walls or crates or barrels and stuff, like you would in the Spyro games. I would have an interface specifically for like damaging things, so it would be called the damage interface, and then I would extend that interface within, say, the base enemy class and other objects that would need it. And instead of always defining what would like happen from like the player side or whatnot, what happens to a specific object, it would be specific to that. It just makes a generic call to that interface method, which I always like that kind of functionality because it's very helpful. It makes it so that you can still like make calls to an interface function, but at the same time, you're not specifically saying, oh, did this detect a player? If the player is detected, then call that player's damage method, or it's way easier to troubleshoot. It's a lot easier to troubleshoot rather than like changing one thing and it breaks multiple things, and you need to sort of search through all the things that it broke so you can say, oh yeah, this is the reason why this is happening, but this is also a reason why this is happening. So it's a lot easier to manage as well in that regard, yeah. So that would be how I would do it. Like, in terms of like, if we focus again like on an example of an interface, an example of an interface would be with the player's stomp, because this box here is the only one at the moment that I have sort of set to be destroyed when the player stomps onto it. Like, the other ones here are just kind of generic cubes that don't have that functionality. But for this box, I have the stomp interface implemented, and when I sort of like detect it whilst going down with the stomp, it will just destroy the box and all that jazz. Which means that if I wanted to, say, have like destroyable like floors, where you just like have a cracked like floor tile or something like that, and you just sort of stomp into it, as long as that object has the interface implemented, it will call the method, like the sort of the stomp method basically, but whatever happens on that specific object would be written within that object's code. It will just make a generic call, and then whatever happens within that instance will just be handled within that instance, which is... Interfaces are so bloody good. I only really like started appreciating... Is that the Sonic Adventure homing attack? No, it is an air dash, I wish I could do a homing attack. Like, I feel like that would take a bit, like, sure, it wouldn't be that difficult in terms of if you just wanted, like, it to go straight to them. Because that's basically what the homing attack just used to be, like, very early on, like, in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. But I feel like, as the Sonic series went on, they started giving the homing attack a bit of an arc as well. So you bounce, like, you jump from one enemy to the next in a chain, but there's always an arc that it travels in. And I feel like it would take a little bit extra to figure out, like, I mean, it may be it could just be an animation thing, or it could be with something to do with, like how, like, position is done within real time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how, like, they would do, how they do stuff with the homing attacks nowadays. Like, the inner workings of it, I mean. Because from the outside, you see, oh, it travels in an arc, and it homes in on the enemy, and it hits them, and it destroys them. But deep down, it's trying to understand, like, well, sure, it moves in an arc, but how does it move in that arc specifically? Why is it not just a... Feels like if it, it would be way too taxing for a normal movement mechanic. So, I feel like... Thoughts for another time. I feel like, rather than real time, maybe, like, when it gets, like, the distance, like, between Sonic and an enemy, then it would sort of have, like, a midpoint worked out, and then... But then that would be... I don't know. I'm actually, like, scratching my head with all this now. But yeah, I would love to try and actually do, like, a little homing attack kind of thing someday. That would be a pretty cool thing to work out. Projectiles themselves have, if, yeah, like, I do have the sprint for the rat. I do have, like, the air dash. I have wall jumps. I have wall sliding. Again, as I explained before, it currently doesn't do things like if you're facing at, like, a diagonal angle, which I need to fix, and then also make it so that if they're sliding for at least, like, a moment, then they'll just sort of snap to face the wall instead. I still haven't done that. I need to do that at some point. Probably as a little fix today, maybe I could do that. But, main focus is, checking the enemy. In which case, I did not check that. I should actually do that. So... Okay, so what did I set? So it is working. I just... Hold on. Oh, I set it to 0.2 seconds. So if I set it to every 2 seconds instead, rather than... Oh, that's flickering. That's... If I set it to every... Okay, that ain't right. I think... Hold on. One thing I need to check. If I go into... Yeah, it's constantly flickering between all of these states when it's... Right, so it keeps flickering between them. That's... Right. That's concerning. I don't know if there's a way to check, So from my understanding, because, like, this is constantly checking every 1.1 second, it might be my fault from what I did, but it shouldn't... When node is activated, call tick on search, call tick when task search instance node, apply decorator scope. Maybe. If only I could look at what I did for an older project. But then it would involve having to close and reopen the project, or close this project, open a different one, and then reopen this project later down the line, which is kind of frustrating. Hold on, let me... Hold on, let me actually look at something that I was, like, learning from lately. So that's... Because I may be going about this in a bit of a wrong way. But we'll see, we'll see. Hold on. um... Oh, wait, no, actually, hold on. There's a thing I forgot about. Right. So the other node was a simple parallel that I forgot. So only test nodes are allowed. So which means I would need to... Right, I would need to change how this works. So... So in range of player again, of course, B is in range, is set. So parallels. They're a bit of an oddity because I haven't really used them too much. But simply put, it essentially has like a main task that executes, which can only be a task node. So it can only be a task like move to target or set the move speed, or in this case, our temporary attack. Whereas the background path is what's running in the background while, you know, while this is running. Hold on. Wait, I was thinking. Right. So this runs in the background while this main thing is executing. So in this case, we can have a sequence. So we can have the player still, the enemy still move towards the player and have its speed set properly while we are, you know, or while it is doing its attack function. However, if we leave the attack function as it is right now, while they're chasing the player. So if I was to go back into the level and I do this and I have the enemy do this. Oh, that's odd. That's why, what happened? Uh-oh. I check what's going on, so... What broke? Current state is equal to attack. It's just not... Or make the attack only trigger when you and the enemy are stationary and when speed is less than a certain value. I mean, that could work. But this is supposed to work. Unless I did something horribly wrong and I'm not supposed to have a... Oh, wait, no. I remember what I did. I remember what I did for this kind of thing. It is coming back to me. So I would have... So, sequence needs to be there, in order for this to work, rather than underneath here. So this was kind of my fault. So 1, B is in range is set. 2, I need another, Boolean. So B can attack. Right, so B can attack. I don't want it to have to be a wait. I want it to be a task. Anyway, so add decorator, blackboard. So you can have more than one decorator on a node if you need to check more than one condition. So can attack, and then say B can attack is set. So if can attack is set, then this will execute. And then here, I want a BTT. No, no, I don't want to base it off of the temp attack. That's not what I want. I need to base it off of the base. So in tasks, make a BTT underscore. Ooh, bless me. So BTT underscore attack wait task. And then we have event receive tick AI. I feel like this still works here. I'm not sure, but sorry about that. And then we say attack wait task. That's what I was doing. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Attack wait task, which is here. So call it attack weight, rather so it isn't so like bulky of a name. I'll say add a float, call it sorry, so attack weight timer, which will be visible, and then a float called attack weight time, which will not be visible because it's the actual... No, wait, no. I want both of them to be visible to edit both of them, but only one of them is going to be actively used, so... So attack weight time will be the thing that's ticking down, so if we set attack weight time to... get, and then minus... and we slowly tick down in seconds. So delta seconds will be our time. So we're setting attack weight time to what it currently is, but taking away each second. Then we check. So get attack weight time is less than equal to 0. Branch. So we do actually want to use a branch this time around. Event and finish execute. So we want to finish execute. We want to say success because you know there's no needs to succeed. So if this is true, so I do need to get the blackboard value. So owner controller get blackboard. Get value as bool. Make literal name. B can attack. So yeah, B can attack is still the name, so that I did not get that wrong, thankfully. So oh wait, no, I need to set value as bool. Whoops. Not get, set. Set value as bool. Set that to true. So if it's true, set that, then finish execute. Otherwise, just finish execute if false. Oh wait, no, also, I need to set... So I think I actually also want to check if can attack is set, so it doesn't run this over when the player is currently attacking. Actually, I'm not sure what I want. You know what? Screw it, I'll do it. So, get value as bool. So get value as bool. I may need to space everything else out as much as humanly possible so I can make this fit. At the moment, this is looking a bit messy, but we'll make it look better. Branch. So... B can attack. So if B can attack is false, so if we want this to tick over, we'll say we'll invert it. So if it's not true, then we'll tick down the time. Otherwise, we won't do anything. Because that's what the not Boolean thing does. It inverses it. Attack wait time. Yeah, so... And then I'll set attack wait time to get attack wait timer. So attack wait timer is the default timer value, and attack wait time is the one that ticks down, basically. So first we're checking if B can attack as false. If it is false, then we'll tick the timer down. When the timer has run out, then we will set B can attack to true. So this won't be able to tick down anymore. And we'll also set the timer back to its default value once that's done. So we'll have a variable, call this B is attacking. So get B is attacking branch. Oh wait, actually, I may want the not Boolean if I'm checking to see if it's false. So if B is attacking, or if is attacking is not true, so if it's false, then we want this to execute. Then we want to set is attacking to true. So this can't execute again anymore. Then it will say this is attacking. Then first things first, get the owner controller, get the blackboard, set value as bool, and we're going to once again set the B can attack, so the can attack boolean. Also, if like people have been like watching these game dev streams, like either live or back on the VOD, and you're wondering why I prefixed a B at the start of the variable names, it's not a common convention in most programming languages, or most things in general, but it is used fairly often in Unreal's code. So it's kind of like convenient in that sense. Yeah, so basically a little naming convention with Unreal, prefixing B at the start of, like, Boolean variable names. Anyway, so we're getting B can attack, we're setting it to false this time around, and then once we've done that, we will set B is attacking to false. However, one thing I want to do is that I want to set a delay. I want to set a slight delay to this. So a 0.2 second delay. So attacking, and then I'll have another print right here. So print string, and I'll say attack finished. Right. So that's sorted now. So running through things, Once again, we still have the attack state. We'll still have the player or the enemy moving towards the player. However, instead of what we were doing before, we have a simple parallel here. I also need to set the attack wait time, so when they're still in range and they're like attacked, then I'll have it be a 2-second interval just for testing sakes. But in the simple parallel, we have the main task, which is the attack task, and this checks to see whether or not the player, it will check to see whether or not the whether or not the enemy is in the attack range. 2, whether or not it can attack. If it can attack, then in the temp attack, it will, like, for the time being, it will check to see if it is currently attacking, which at this point it won't be, so it will say it's attacking to true, so this won't run again until, like, everything's done and said and done. It will print attacking to say, yeah, this is attacking, and after a brief delay, B can attack is set to false, and is attacking is set to false as well, and it will say that the attack is finished. Once that has happened, while neither condition is met, so like B, oh wait, hold on, so attack wait, yeah, it needs to be set to true. Oh yeah, no, I was right. So is attack, or B can attack is set to false, so it won't be able to attack for the for the delay. It will say that the attack's finished, and that should hopefully work, unless I have somehow broken things again. We will find out. Alright, this doesn't seem to be working. Hold on. What am I missing here? So B is in range, B can attack is currently false. Oh! Is this running? Like, this should be running unless I did this wrong, because this is a tick AI and not a event receive execute AI. Hold on. Event receive execute AI. So, event receive execute AI. It has to be event receive execute AI. I forgot, or I knew, but I thought I could make tick AI work. However, instead, get delta. Oh wait, no, that's. Oh, whoops. Get world delta seconds. So that basically allows access to delta time in here instead of what we were doing out there. I really also should have put. I don't think this is still not working. Check. So that's behavior tree service. Check attack distance. So it's in range. B can attack is set to. So true pass, false fail. Let me think. I could truly figure this out. Let me think. Hold on. Attack wait task. Let's see. I need to check if this is executing at all. So, event receive execute AI. I'm gonna print. I'm just gonna go print hello just so I can make this easier on myself and not have to worry about a specific thing. If this is not executing the background task, then something is wrong. Okay, so that background task is not being executed at all. That's concerning. Right, I may need to reorganize how I'm doing things here. Right. So, okay. One thing that I may need to do, I may need to check the other project that I was talking about because this is kind of stumping me a little bit. So I'm briefly closing this project. I'll probably briefly open the Unreal, not the Unreal, the Epic Games launcher when I do this. Though it probably won't. So I'll switch over to Clip Studio so we're not staring at a blank screen. Sorry about that. But the project I'm looking for specifically is a project that I had to make for an assignment back in my second year of university. Which is right here. Do I have 4.25? Yeah, I do. Of course I have 4.25 installed because I had to use it. I used it during the GMTK game jam. So, and I still have it in case I have need of it again because so at the very least, Unreal Engine 4 projects don't take that long. So dipping into this may not take, or should hopefully not take too long. But yeah, in terms of like the new dungeon that Destiny 2 added, it's very fun. I had fun with it when I was running it earlier. Kind of a shame that I didn't manage to get contest mode done because I tried it yesterday but just fucking struggled with it. It seems to be a theme, and I feel like it's difficult to improve at a thing like that whenever I take lessons away from it, it feels like I take the wrong ones away, and it does demotivate me in a sense. It's taking its time. Why? It's supposed to not take that long to open Unreal. Why is it? It's taking its time for some reason. Um, and this is all to find the solution to a problem that I've been trying to fix. So I'm gonna open another little panel in Clip Studio just for the sake of it. So, yeah, not what I was saying, not the point I was making, but so the end goal is to have the enemy be able to run but also fire the projectiles simultaneously. Oh, hey Zazel! Hello, just finished playing my first ever D&D session. It was pretty fun. Honestly? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I remember, like, when I started getting into D&D, it was like, I was just very lost and confused. But it was still fun. But now, like, I'm so much more used to things. It's super enjoyable. Also, this project is taking forever to open up. What the fuck is going on? All I want to be able to do is check what I did for the... It seems to be struggling. This is weird. Right, let's try that again, because I do 2 separate party members in one, not at the same time. Ah! I haven't had, like, an inter-party fight in any campaign that I've played, like, so far. It'd be pretty nice to do that at one point. I'd say the closest I've gotten to the... Legit landed a crit on our paladin. Nice, nice. I think the closest I've gotten to that was basically just forcefully interrogate. Like, this was fairly recently as well in the current campaign I'm playing with my friends, but Kara, good barbarian, goes brrr. Barbarian just goes brrr. But the closest I got to that was forcefully interrogating 2 members of the party when they hid an item that was of dire importance in basically a bag of holding, and I was trying to find out where it was. I tried to use command on one of them. I tried to use command to force them to speak, because Zone of Truth, which was what I'd cast first, basically means that, whenever a character talks, they have to tell you the truth, but only when they're talking, meaning they don't have to talk. So I was going to try and use command to force them to speak. Which, didn't go well because I missed the... They succeeded the saving throw, which sucks. But that was a cool thing that I tried to do. It would be nice if this... Hold on. Let me go into Task Manager, because there seems to be... I've got a whole bunch of stiff stuff. I did lose my voice a bit due to the specific voice I decided to do. That kind of happens with one of our party members as well. Cause there's a certain voice they do it like they make their character sound like a chain smoker, which is pretty funny. It's like oi oi, like kind of like that. And I know that when they've been unwell, like when they've had like sore throat and like general sore throat stuff, that it has put more of a strain on their voice than normal. But it is worth for them to do that voice because it makes it pretty funny, but also we normally ask them to narrate recaps for us, which is always funny. They narrate the recaps for us in their character, and we basically have our other characters just kind of like correct them on information they get wrong, which is pretty funny. But in addition to I was also pretty loud, usually shouting, yeah, that's fair, that's fair, that happens, that's just what happens. Also, this is not... So I can't find out what's going on with this. This is a bit of a concern. It's not opening that Unreal Engine 4 project, which is a bit of a bastard, because I'm trying to figure things out, which means I need to reopen the Unreal 5 project and try and figure out what I'm doing wrong. Well, my bus is here, so I'll be off for now, but I might join back when I return home. Jesus, it's late. Holy. But yeah, even if it's for a little bit, thanks for stopping by, Zazel. Hope you have a safe journey home. Good lord, this is going to take a bit of time for it to reopen, which is kind of frustrating. Oh yeah, no. So one thing that I also kind of noted today, because I saw people talking about The World Ends With You and Neo The World Ends With You, and whatnot. The thing with Neo The World Ends With You, because of course that's a sequel to The World Ends With You. The original The World Ends With You is a great game, love it. Play it if you ever get the chance. I would say whatever version is currently like that they had on the Switch, that they made for the Switch, which had the extra like story bit, which ties the first game and the second game together. Um, get that version, even though it's a bit awkward for controls and whatnot. It's very weird. But I would say do that. But in terms of Neo, The World Ends With You, it's a great game. It's a great, great game. But the thing that it suffered from was the fact that Square Enix, for some ungodly reason, decided not to market the game at all when it was released. Like, I think it was like summer or so of like 2021 when it was released, and there was just no coverage for it. Absolutely no coverage whatsoever. And, hold on. I remember late 2020 when it was announced. I was like, holy shit. They're finally making a sequel to this game. And I was excited for it. Also, I'm taking my meds. Sorry about this. I'm making some noise in the background which may not be picked up, but it probably is, so I apologize. But yeah, I was super excited for when it was announced, because like, oh god, they're finally making a sequel. This is gonna be sick. And then because of the lack of marketing, because of the absolute like zero marketing that Neo Tui got, I completely missed the fact that it was released until like a few weeks later, and then saw, oh god, why did they not market this? This sucks. This sucks that they didn't market this, because I would eventually get the game on sale for Black Friday, because Amazon like Black Friday stuff, and I ordered the game from Amazon. I got it delivered, and I was playing the game like just like end of November, start of September, no, end of November, start of December 2021. And it's a great game, such a good fucking game. And it upsets me. I have not forgiven Square Enix for not marketing the game properly. They just didn't do anything. And recently they were like, yeah, we kind of realized that we did not market this game properly. So yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, I realize that I may need to actually reorganize how this is all functioning. So, do away with this sequence entirely. And I feel like attack weight is kind of a waste. So, this will essentially act as the sequence here. So, oh, never mind. This still needs to be a sequence, never mind. Oh, I can't get into that damn file, because if I could get into that file, I could easily check. That's not what I... Because I know it is possible. I know it is possible. God. Whoops. Sorry about that. Um... Think. Right. Oh, wait, no! So, have a wait. Have that be 0 seconds. And I did this... I remember now, I think. I had this as a service. I had this as a behavior tree service. Oh my god, it actually... What the hell do you mean it was still loading my Unreal Engine 4 project in the background? This is terrible. Oh my god. It eventually opened for some reason. Oh god. My thing is frozen. Uh-oh. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna close and reopen that because that happened. Where is... Right, I should be back in a moment. My little talky person should be back. There we go. So... So melee range... Yep, there we go. And then there was attack delay, start, stop, attack. Okay, now I remember. Now I remember. I should probably take a picture of what I actually found just in case, just so I don't forget. But I found it. I found what I needed to do. I can close this Unreal Engine 4 project now because I got what I needed. Thank God. Though that took forever. I don't know why it took forever, and I don't know why it was still doing it in the background. I've never had that happen before. So, anyway, I was partly correct in what I was doing, but at the same time, I was doing it wrong. So, I want to get rid of the sequence. Get rid of this wait node. Have move to player target be here. So, set move speed needs to be set here. Move to target needs to be there, and then we need another sequence. So what we need is a sequence here that checks whether or not the... So I can move this decorator onto here, then say temp attack, and then I did say attack weight task. But I can just adjust this instead, so this is completely different. So instead of having this be like this, just say, have it be a delay. Get rid of that, just have it be attack wait timer. Attach that. And then do that. Even though I could literally just do wait, like have a wait node, there may be something else I may want to do with this. So I'll just use this node, set it to 2 seconds. So now, first it will set the move speed. So it will set the enemy's move speed to the sprint speed. Then so this simple parallel will happen like basically at the same time as this. So like this simple parallel will be running, so will this move to target. So this will be running, but at the same time, it will set the move speed, and then within like the background task, it will check if the enemy is in range of the player. If it is, then it will do the attack. It will do the wait task, and then once the wait task is ended, if it's still in range, then it will do this again. So hopefully this time it should work. And then once again, because I reopened the project, it will take its time loading things up again. You know, as you do, or as it does, you know, even. Right, so we'll see what happens here. Oh wait, why did I do that? Right, so now we do this, because I needed to get OBS back up. Okay, why? It should be working. Or is it because... Oh yeah, no, it is attacking... Right, I don't need this anymore. I also don't know if this was making a difference regardless. So we'll bring this all the way over here, because we really don't need the space. What is going on? Right, there shouldn't be anything I'm missing here. Oh, wait, no, I need to make it delayed. That's what I need to do. I need to have it wait for subtree. I forgot about that bit. So it was doing it immediately rather than waiting for the subtree. Right. What did I make what did I make the distance tolerance for move to target? I made it 150. So maybe I should make this 350 instead, because I feel like halving it maybe a bit of a stretch. Right, we're on Cloud Spires now. No, wait, actually, I may want Spooky Swamp. We've got an ad. Hate that. There we go. Much better. Right, so make that distance a bit longer so that I can have things happening a bit more often. Okay, kind of weird thing is that it... So that is working. However, I think that delay within temp attack... Ouch. I mean, it may be the delay, or it may be the wait task, I'm not too sure, but... Right, I'll get rid of the delay, or I'll unplug it for now. And I'll see what happens, because... Right, I can't tell. Let's see. Right, I'll set it to 400. I may as well just do it 500, but... It may also be worth me checking the or actually printing the distance. So... Print... String... So... End... So... And then we do that. So I can actually check what the distance is between the enemy and the player when they're in the chase mode. Okay, but it doesn't... this is kind of... But for some reason, whenever it's... Whenever the enemy is, like, stood still next to the player within, like, the move 2 tolerance range, it will just kind of do that. Which is very odd. Let me think. So let's see. Advanced, allow partial path. Track moving goal. Allow partial path. Allow strafe. Let me think. I'm trying to rack my brain here. It's taking its time. It's a little... Hmm. Right. I'm genuinely kind of stumped here. It's actually forcing me to think a bit too hard. Um, Let me think. It's a case of... Ah! God, 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 God. God! Um... If I can actually get the other project to open itself now, rather than, you know, it take an eternity, I could probably actually check, like, some of the other things in there, because I didn't actually take a proper look at things in there, so... There we go. Alright. This may overload things a little bit again, which I'm not looking forward to. Oh, it opened instantly this time. That's not what I'm looking for. BTT. Attack delay. There we go. Delay, parallel. Result change. Server was none. Sorry. Sorry, this is taking a while, chat. So show property details. Actually added, like, in that project, I also had a delay. I had a delay at the end, so... Also, I'm not using B can attack anymore, so... Get rid of that for the time being. Also get rid of that. It's a 1 second delay that I had in that project for some reason. I feel like... Oh, it hasn't completely frozen my PNG. Thank God. I was about to say that could have been bad. Right. So that's how I did things there. I'm thankful for the fact that Unreal Engine 4 is very lightweight, so I can have that project open at the same time as this one. Though I'm only looking at, like, blueprint stuff and not actually the, like, the environment. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Okay, that's... There we go. That's doing a bit... That's doing better. I really should look at how things were happening there, because... So, if I observe this... The problem is that it... Right, so this implementation does work, however, it doesn't exactly let me have the enemy move and use its attack at the same time, because with that delay there, it kind of forces it to stop for a second and then start moving again. So... Right. So... Like, I have the right idea. It's just that it's a bit... Right, so B is in range is set. Attack weight task. Temp attack, set move speed, move to target. The problem is the delay. Let me think. Okay, I think I would still... Right, so in terms of... Check attack distance. So that's check attack distance. I would need probably a behavior tree service that executes every second. That executes every second. So behavior tree, service, blueprint base, services, underscore, pick, attack, wait. So this is a very, very, very unorthodox way of me doing this. So event, receive, pick AI. Even though I'm not using the delta seconds thing here, I'm just doing this just for the sake of it. And then in the behavior tree, I do want to add the service here. So add service, tick attack weight. And I want this to execute, or I want this interval to be a 1 second interval, not a 0.9 or 1.1 second. I want this to be a 1 second interval. So every second this ticks. So we will have, again, two variables. We'll have attack, weight, timer, and attack weight time, just like the task that we're basically doing what we did with the task earlier. but we're doing it within a service now, so we're not... Oh, wait, this needs to be attack wait time. Whoops. I keep doing it! I keep doing it on instinct. There. Cool. Right, I did it. Right, so tick attack wait. So attack wait time. So subtract, and then attack wait time -1, because if this is ticking every second rather than like every frame, then we don't need to use delta seconds to count it down. We could just flat tick it down, which is good. Then we can say is less than or equal to 0. So it will still be checking if it's less than or equal to 0. And then we'll get the controller. No, wait, this will need to be a branch. Branch. Of course. So then we'll get controller. Get blackboard. And then set value as bool. Oh wait, that's set value as class. Whoops. Set value as bool. And then duplicate this so I don't need to type it out again. I don't need... No, wait, no, I don't need it. I actually don't need it, so... So set this to true. Say... Make literal name. So we will actually need B can attack. So B can attack. And then... set attack wait time and set it to attack wait timer. So that should work now. So again, set it to 2 seconds. And then temp attack. And then I can just say B can attack as yep. And then here I'll need to actually set it to false again. So get blackboard. Get value as bool. No, not get, set. I need to set. Set value as bool. I haven't even actually gotten on to, like, spawning the projectile yet, which is kind of crazy. I was hoping to get that done. I probably still can fit it in. It's just a bit... Right, so set it to false. It is just a bit awkward. And then make literal name B can attack. And that's being set to false. So every 1 second, this will tick the attack wait time down by 1. When it reaches 0, the enemy can attack, and it will reset the timer. And then it will do the attack, and also set it to false again. And then it will keep going, and so on and so forth. So hopefully, this should work better than it has been. Seems to be working a bit better. I think. Alright. It's working better. It's working better than it was. Though this is still a little bit crude. It's still a bit undesirable in terms of some of its functionality. That's what I mean. Right, sorry about that. Anyway, so it's still a bit crude in terms of like it working. It works, but it doesn't exactly work in the way that I'm hoping for it to work, if that makes sense. I'm wanting to try and, like, if I can, get the behavior tree, like, over in, like, a separate window so I can observe it, like, more closely without needing to, like, I'll put it on my other monitor, which means it will kind of obscure OBS a little bit. I'll make sure it doesn't cover up chat, just so I can at least read things, but okay, so we'll see this again. Right. Movement time. Yeah, movement time. Right, let's see. This is kind of being a bit weird in terms of... Because it's not... Hmm. I may need to actually check that other project again. What was going on with... Like, this should... It might be because there's no node light to the left here, so... Rotate two-phase blackboard entry. So I may need to actually have that existing there in order for it to, you know, not bug out and be weird. Right, let's hope this works. Or not. So it aborts self. That's my problem. I think that's my problem. It might be because it's aborting self and it's supposed to be aborting both. So... Ah, this is not how it's supposed to work. Right, so this is behaving so weirdly. It's not what I'm expecting from it, which is a big wall, because if I want this to be able to work in the way that I want it to work, if that makes sense, I need for things to be able to run smoothly, but for some reason, it's not. Let me check back in the Unreal Engine 4 project, because... Oh, sorry about that, but it's not... Things don't seem so clear to me. As crazy as that is, things don't seem so clear to me at the moment. So, it's on result change, not on value change. So you have a selector in the behavior tree, aborts both for the passive state. So move to patrol point. Oh, gosh. So looking at this, restart timer on each activation. No, that's not what I want. So if I throw that back in there, oh, good golly god. My problem is that I'm trying to make the enemy be able to, like, run and throw projectiles at the same time, but because of how this is, like... I know there's probably, like, an easier way of doing this. There's definitely an easier way of doing this, but at the moment, It is not clear to me whatsoever. And I'm struggling to think. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Ah! Um. Tick, attack, wait. It might be some of the things that I forgot to configure, but this should be... And I want to check... Good on, Real Engine 4. It's not... That doesn't help me. Looking at the other... Hello! Oh yeah, you had work today. Hope it went well here. I'm trying to figure things out that is kind of making me rack my brain a little bit. I am I am struggling to figure things out. Ooh. Oh, good gosh. Had a really cool game today. Was interesting. Ooh, what game was it today? So that's not what I wanted. Ah, I moved the bloody thing out of the... So like I don't want to have to have the blackboard communicate directly with the enemy classes too much. That's not what I want it to do too much, depending on what I need it to do. Let's see. Game called Mouthwashing. It has that stylized PS1-esque art style. Very cool. Oh, all right. Ooh, PS1 style game is what I am trying to do too, but it's figuring out the specifics of my enemies that is currently tripping up my brain. Oh, gosh. Let me think. There's... feel like is horror game, but not a jump scary one. More like gore and dark themes. Ooh, it's funny because it has like such a funny or innocent sounding title, and then all of a sudden it's just completely not that. Ooh, whoops. Yeah, let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Right, so I'm gonna try and see if I can consult like other like Unreal people in other Discords about this because this is kind of not gonna lie. I'm actually very stumped on this. Hmm. Let me think. There is definitely a better approach to what I am doing at the moment, and right. So I've tried a couple of things, but this is obviously also not working because when the player is moving, despite and I should also probably check like again. I'm gonna need to sort of have this over on my. Oh, never mind. I've lost it. I'm gonna have this over on my second monitor. So, not to the point where it obstructs chat, because I don't want that to happen, but I'm going to have to try and check like so, because I haven't actually been checking like, the Boolean values at all. Yeah, it doesn't want to seem to do anything within the simple parallel unless... Right, so it only executes things within the simple parallel once the once the enemy has gotten to the player, which is kind of weird. That's not... Which was probably why when I had like movement and stuff underneath like the simple parallel, it just wasn't working. But that's so weird. Like why? Actually, I'm gonna have to make another change to the attack task. I may have actually figured something out. Hold on. So right, let me think. So get rid of the simple parallel. So what I want is I'll have this here as well. So we'll have the enemy rotate to face the player, of course. We'll have them set the speed. We'll have them move towards the player. However, what I want here is I want to change what I have here, because what I have here is very bare bones and simple, and doesn't accomplish what I'm wanting at the moment. So get value as bull. And for people who are not sure, I am basically attempting to try and make an enemy that can move and fire a projectile at the same time, but in Unreal this is kind of a bit finicky in Unreal. In Unity, this probably would have been a lot easier, but in Unreal, this is a bit of a challenge. So, I'll need the same thing. What did I do? What did I do? I just pressed Control B. Why did I press Control B? That was weird. That was bizarre. So, branch. So if it can, then do this. Otherwise, just do this. So this will still execute, but... Oh wait, no, I need two things. I need two things. So I'll... So, attack wait task, I don't need that open. So I need two things. Not only do I need this boolean, but I'll also need to say and then get value as bool. And I need another make literal name. B is in range. So I need to check not only if they can attack, but if they're in range. Which they will be in range, but this is just a check just to make sure. So if both of these are met, this is true, it will say that it attacks. B can attack is set to false, and then it will execute with success. I think that was one of the things I was missing. Hold on. I completely forgot to set it to succeed on a... I'm so silly. Let's check. Right, so this was set to success. But let me check the Unreal Engine 4 project, because if that is the case, then I have been creating a problem for zero reason. Let's just check. Oh. I sometimes utterly astound myself with how forgetful I can be. Yeah, no, I was supposed to say it as a success, and I never did. Which meant that whenever that task was running, it would always run and say, yeah, this is failing. So, yeah, mistakes have been made. Ah, gosh. Right, let's see if this works. still not. It's still when it's only stopping. Right, I want to get the behavior tree back into OBS so I can see what the hell's happening here. So BTT set move speed set to true. Right. Oh god, that's horrible. Ugh. I may actually need a simple parallel, but this may actually work if I do it with wait for subtree, have move to target be the main task, and then I think I did it. I just bloody did it. Yeah, finally. That took so goddamn long. But I finally did it. Holy crap. Yay. That took way too long. But now right, so I figured out what was completely wrong. So with move to target, so let me just gather my thoughts for a moment, because otherwise, if I don't take a moment to actually plan, like put it all together, I won't be able to explain it. But oh yeah, welcome back, people who are in the ad breaks. I fixed it. I actually managed to find out what the problem was. So let me break things down. So in terms of a behavior tree, so behavior tree tasks within a sequence, they run from left to right, and one task in the sequence, one task only moves on to the next once it has finished executing. And when it finishes executing, basically just depends on whether it meets the condition within its task. So, for example, with rotate to face blackboard entry, this basically just finishes once it's rotated, like, to look at the player with, like, whatever precision it's set to. Set move speed finishes once this method is called, which is just, like, a very quick method, setting the move speed based on the enum. So and the enum that's set here is sprint, so it'll set to the sprint speed, yada yada yada. Move to target is an interesting one in that when move to target is being called, it does not finish until it reaches its target within, like, the distance that you set, like, the tolerance to. So when the enemy is like 150 meters away from the player, that's when this task finishes, and that's when it like says, yeah, this is finished, this is a success, and we can move on to the next task. The problem is that if you put anything after a move to target, or move to target node, that will not execute unless it has reached its target. So, for example, if you have it moving to the player, and the player is constantly moving away, it will never like, if this simple parallel wasn't here and it was just these four nodes, it will never reach the attack node, because until it stops, because it is continuously chasing the player and won't finish until it reaches the player. So by having a simple parallel where we have it wait for its subtree, and and we have the move to target be its main node, and then the attack node be its temporary, like its background node that still executes while this is running. Because we still have like the checks for can it attack and is it in range going on in the background, it will just keep saying that this is false when they can't attack, and then say it's true when they are able to attack. And in doing so, I've managed to make it possible for the enemy to actually attack. So what I need now is to basically... Let me think. Head's feeling a little heavy, that's why. Not headache heavy, but kind of feeling explodey kind of heavy. So, you know, that happens. Right. So, now I remember. In the enemy... So, if you remember, so we're actually going to dip into the code now, because we haven't done this the entire stream. It's mainly just been in the editor, like, sorting out the behavior tree and the blueprints and stuff. I will just close most of this, because I don't need most of this open. I just need... Where is it? So, Twitch prototype, source... Is it in public? Yeah, the enemy interface. So, at the moment, in the enemy interface, what we have is get patrol route, so that returns the patrol route that the enemy is using, and that's used... If you can remember, in the grounded enemy, it's used within, like, its patrol state. So if we go back into the engine and we go back into the behavior tree, so in the passive state, if they can patrol, so yeah, so if this light is used to check whether or not that the enemy has this assigned, and this method's only executed if the pawn implements that interface. So if it implements the interface, it will call this, it will get like whatever object reference exists there. If it's like a valid object, if that value has been filled, then it will say it's true, and then they can like patrol and follow the route. So get patrol route is also used to get the actual like patrol spline, so we can get like the current spline point, which was a method defined in the code, and then have it move to that position. So that works that way. And of course, again, it works slightly differently for the flying enemies, but basically, that method within the code basically does that, and also I went into the patrol path class for no reason. So that does that. Set move speed just lets the enemies like move speed be set based on like whatever move speed type is passed in, and get should activate perception is returned to the enemy controller to basically enable or disable like the sight and the hearing perception. It doesn't have hearing perception, but it's used to enable / disable the sight perception based on whether or not like it returns true or false. That's what happens there. what we want now is something that returns a... So, blueprint native event, blueprint callable. We want to return basically a scene component. So, scene component pointer get projectile fire point. And the reason why I'm using a scene component is that it's honestly easier to set up rather than going in and saying, yeah, let's get the act. Or at this point, it's easier to set up for the testing sake rather than, you know, going into the actual like class for the enemy. Oh god, ugh. And getting like a bone or a socket that's defined as like, oh, this is the point where the enemy fires a projectile from, and get the well position from that, and la-di-da-di-da. Just getting a scene component is just easier at this point. So, get projectile fire point is defined here, and then we need to go into the enemy. So that needs to go back there because, you know, I'm very particular about how things are organized. So so get patrol route implementation. If I look at the set, yep. Right, so now I need a virtual. Right, so get projectile firepoint underscore implementation. Then it will do that. Why is this like this? That was kind of weird. That was kind of acting a little bit weird. There we go. So now I get to do the grand old thing and regenerate all the project files. So I got to close the project. I'm gonna go into Clip Studio. Clip Studio is minimized so that whoops. Then we get to close Rider. I haven't had to do this the entire stream. Go into the folders, binaries, intermediate saved. Boom. Still gotta wait for it to actually finish, like, having Unreal run. It's kind of funny like that, but why is it taking... It's taking its time. Ah. But yeah, no. In terms of, like, where things stand functionally, with the AI, it seems... Oh, where is my actual tablet pen? I forgot where it was. It seems a lot more possible to actually get this functionality where it's moving and firing a projectile at the same time because of, what I realized. So, with projectiles themselves, like, we could just have, like, a normal projectile that just kind of flies and then just kind of, like, disappears on hit. Or we can have a projectile that flies and then explodes on hit. Or something that really deviously, like, has like a little vortex thing that pulls into itself on hit. Like, I'm not sure, like, how many of these ideas I'd actually sort of consider, but, it's coming up with potential ideas. Also, kind of sad that I didn't actually get to do, like, level design brainstorming, which is one of the things I wanted to do today, but it happens. It happens. So we are just waiting for the project to open. This is going to take a few moments. A few moments. Oh, it's loading. Do 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 do. Right, so now that I am thinking, yes. Right, there we go. So, where is the content drawer? There it is. So, main little thing that I'm worried about is, right. Bum 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 bum. Game. Damn it, because they. Right, because then it'll take a while. But right, I'd have to do it within the enemy base class. Quickly. Right, so Twitch prototype, enemy. I'll quickly rush through getting this done in the code, because... Right, so we got enemy.h, and we'll need a private new property, edit, anywhere. Right, u scene component pointer. We're just gonna call this close the engine, go back into Clip Studio, close the code editor. Oh, never mind. The Epic Launcher interrupted me. Oh wait, hold on. I might have actually done this a little bit incorrectly. So edit with JetBrains Rider. Private, then there we just a sub object. Right. So now I've done that, I can close that. Give it a moment, because this does take its time. Or right. Binaries, intermediate, saved. There we go. Generate the files. Because this is gonna do. we go. And now I can properly rebuild the modules. Take too long. But it is taking a little bit of time. So I think, yeah, I think I'll call stream there. I'll get this little bit done off stream. But to everyone who showed up and everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, thank you ever so much for showing up to stream. I really appreciate it. Next stream will be tomorrow, today technically now, but, you know, it doesn't count as tomorrow until I wake up. It'll be Xenoblade. We'll be getting back to the Xenoblade playthrough, which, you know, always happy to do. So yeah. Once again, I really appreciate you all being here, and I'm gonna raid Dragon, because she is currently playing Xenoblade, and I'm going to do the boom surprise. Haha, haha, haha. So oh, my keyboard. This keyboard does kind of upset me sometimes. There we go. And again, I will see you on the very next one, and see you on the other side. Bye-bye!